really just gonna do that? Don't do that, Dean. Let me see. Are you full? Come here. Well, let me wipe you off. You got it all over your neck rolls. Come here. You all done? Here. Here, lay down. Here, I'll give you something to twist. Here, look. Carlisle. Hello. Here. Here. Mr. Donald.
You see, that's what I don't understand.
Okay. Sorry about that. We're trying to get little one to take a nap, but we're also trying to get it, like the doctor said, for him to take naps while we're still doing stuff, so that he is not getting so in the habit of always just waiting for us to lay him down. So, anyhow, so I had a really rough start on my painting. Sarah thinks it's totally fine. I've had a couple of other people that are like, it's great. I am like, yikes. I haven't painted in a really long time, and I freehanded it. So I did like just kind of a rough sketch onto the canvas and went a little bit freehand. I grabbed some of these today, these really thin ones, to try something else. We're good. So I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna use these. They're really, really, really cheap. Less canvas, not all the wood and stuff. So I'm gonna try something with this one. But if you didn't see it, come on. So this was like my first go at it. This is just like a rough go. It's really not that good. There's quite a bit of stuff I'm just not happy with, but like I tried to get like, you know, difference in texture in the landscaping, did like little mounds and whatnot, the waves of the water moving along. These were supposed to be like frosted or flocked trees in the front. They didn't quite come out the way I wanted. I also did not have the proper brush. So I was a little bit bummed out. One of the brush, like there's a certain brush I was missing. So I tried to make do with a different brush in place of it. I do now have the right brush. So these didn't come out the way I wanted. The mountains, but yeah, so not quite exactly what I was hoping, but like I said, this was just a really good rough go. So yeah, pretty rough start. I'm not too happy with it, but it's like a good starting point that kind of says, hey, you got something there you can build upon. And so yeah, so I can start building upon these techniques and stuff like that. I just haven't done this in over 20 years. So also, oh baby, huh? Come here, why? Oh, well, I'm right in the middle of the live stream.
They're not going anywhere more.
I know, but I don't like walking off camera. I think it's rude.
Why are so sweet today? It tastes like straight up just the top of the popcorn.
Girl, that is so sweet. Oh
yeah.
boy.
You only ate half.
I literally didn't even eat it. I bit into it, did a chew, and then said nope. Hold on, I want a bite of my food. Oh, that sucks. So today, anyway, Sarah and I went out and we got Starbucks cups with chai tea. But anyway, so we bought our Starbucks cups, and the cool part is these come with the top, right, with your reusable straw and all that great stuff. But if I wanted to get like a cold brew or make a cold brew, the cool part is you can buy these little bad boys and they go on these cups. So let's see here. Come here, thing.
Oh,
So then you take these instead. Come on, come out of there.
Warren gave it to me.
Oh, it was held in by that. So then you buy these instead. And it slides shut so that way if you're traveling, you don't have to worry about it spilling. But the cool part is, I'll show you. Just take this part off. Don't want it to get on anything. And then this screws in place. And then you have the screw in top so that you can just drink it straight out of the cup. Which I love the idea because it's really nice to make like a really good cold brew with a nice good foam on top. And it will allow for you to do that. And when you drink a cold brew coffee with a cold brew foam, like a foam, you want to tip it because you want to drink the coffee through the foam. That's the whole point of why it's a foam. The foam is there. But while I'm using it for this, you just put this top on. So we'll always be able to have these with us, and it's really, really nice to have. But yeah, these are great. I mean, like, seriously, super great. We also yesterday got some of their hot cups, so that way we can actually get hot coffee when we're there. Like, I really enjoy a hot, warm chai tea. Why are you yelling at me? Sir, why are you yelling at Grandma? That's not very nice. The wind is picked up so bad outside, you guys. Why are you yelling at me? Come here. Don't yell at Grandma. It's not nice.
You can have him and you can have Mickey.
But Sarah was looking for a specific cup, and the Starbucks we went to didn't have it. So we went to another one. It's like a really big walk-in Starbucks. Like, the Starbucks we went to was inside of the grocery store, and they didn't have the cup she wanted, but the other place had it. This is the one she wanted. So she's now got it's like this one, but it's like a dark blue, like a navy blue color. And then she's got this one, which is really cool. Then we've got the hot cups. Like, they literally look like the ones that you, like the actual paper Starbucks ones, but they're plastic, like a plastic travel cup. They're in the sink to get washed. So we got those as well. And then because I drink more hot coffees than she does, I got a hot Arizona Starbucks. This one's says Arizona on it, Grand Canyon, whatnot. So she got the one with just the cacti, and it says Arizona on it. And then I got the big, well, this guy, he's not really all that big. But it pops open, has the little sip top, and then of course when you open it, it's got a pretty good inside. It holds, I forgot how much it said. It's 16 ounce coffee. So a 16 ounce coffee is fantastic. Hi, Joseph. How are you, hon? But yeah, so I'm really happy about this because this means I can take this with me with coffee. The noise you hear is the baby bouncing. But while I was there, I also got 2 items. I'm going to call my brother because I want to make sure that I do this with like his knowledge, because he does a lot of pour over and pressed coffee. But I did get a pour over. So now you set this over a cup. It comes with your scoop, like the scoop is right there. And then you have this piece here. This is what you pour your water into, and this is what you put your coffee into. So your coffee grounds go in here with a filter. So you put the filter in, and then you put this piece on here. It snaps into place. Make sure I get it right. There we go. And then you pour your hot liquid in. So you put your hot water in, and then you put your cap on, and then you just let this sit on top of your cup. And it drips from the bottom here, and it has the thing here to fit it into your cup so it doesn't fall off your cup. But yeah, so this is a pour over, which I'm really, really excited about because I really enjoy my coffee. I don't think you guys understand like how much I enjoy coffee. I ended up finally, after trying some of their coffees and deciding I really, really, really love the Bayman's blend, I decided to get a membership or a subscription to King's Coast. So I got King's Coast coffee coming in. But also now I need to call my brother because he knows how to use a press. And he does pressed coffee all the time, and I really want to make sure that when I do the King's Coast, I want to make sure it's ground correctly. I don't want it too thin of grounds, and I definitely don't want the grounds too thick. But this is made for doing hot coffee. I do have a cold brew thing, and I did do all the research on the cold brew and exactly how to ground the grounds up. You don't want them too thin or too small. You want them to be chunkier. So yeah, I want to call my brother and go through that with him so I can do a good pressed coffee, because I am really, really, like, I love my coffee and I want to make a really good coffee. Sarah has joined me in really starting to enjoy coffee recently. I think mostly because we have such a lack of sleep that we are, coffee has become like a staple in our house. Yes, Dean, I hear you. I hear you.
Are super fucking sweet. But they taste like
That is, I'm
only
sorry,
the top
of
part
of the Pop-Tart.
cinnamon Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Only the icing in a block.
Yeah, it tastes like the icing in a block.
Just a bunch of sweetness.
There's no way. I told you we weren't going to like it.
Carlisle,
I'm terrified
my
to
good
try
sir. Yes, I know you want more playtime, more of everything.
what I
I
did.
know, but it's time for
This.
you.
It was so bad.
It's really, I couldn't
A
even
bite
eat
and
it
then bit into it
and
then
spit it out.
spit it out. I swallowed mine.
Nope, I wasn't brave enough. So the other thing that I got today, so that's like the coffee stuff out of the way. Because sorry, I got to do coffee. But today, the thing that kit that I got, it came with this flat, little flat plastic thing that's like flimsy and whatnot. It's a palette, right? The flimsy little palette.
Big bitch.
I want to get a genuine like paint palette, but I think I'm gonna have to go to somewhere like Hobby Lobby or order it online to get like a genuine like one that you can like have your, you know, with your thumb through and have in your hand, make mixing and whatnot really easy. But because they didn't have that, I went ahead and grabbed a handful of these little 50-cent ones. So you can just put all your paint colors in here. You can mix them right here in the middle. Or you can even mix them in these. Like when we do it, I always put like, I pick my few colors that I'm gonna do here, and then I use these ones for adding and mixing. But I grabbed a handful of them because they were super cheap. One of the things that I needed was a white acrylic paint. So I just grabbed a big, huge thing of white acrylic because acrylic paint is the most recommended paint, and it's like the go-to for painters who do canvas painting. You can do oil paints as well. So I did grab a thing of oil paints. I want to test it out. These don't dry as fast as acrylic. The problem I kept running into when doing this painting last night was how fast the acrylic kept drying as I was trying to work with it. I think my biggest problem was I was too scared to like go for it, like just go all in and like really just paint and like really stick on the heaviness of the paint. So this is really painted really thin. You can see the canvas right through it, which is, I mean, you should be able to see a bit of your canvas and the texture of your canvas. However, I did not have enough white paint, so I did not paint the background of this first, which you should do, which is prepping your canvas surface. I did not prep my canvas surface, which might be one reason why I had so much trouble with moving the paint around. But I do have this little miniature easel, which I used for that, but this was extremely excruciating to work with. I sat it like it's, you know, of course you can see it's got paint on it. Your easels are going to get paint on them. It's expected because your canvas sits right at the bottom, and when you get to the bottom of your canvas while you're painting, you're gonna get paint on it. The other thing I noticed too was that like my paint looks incomplete at the bottom because the easel got stuck to it and then whatnot. And of course, like I said, this dried so fast that I was having such a hard time working with it. And like I said, I hadn't worked with, do you like Donny Osmond? I don't know Donny Osmond. I mean, I know of Donny and Marie Osmond back in the day, but like, never people that I followed or anything. I mean, he's got a good singing voice.
Unless you want to go and do that.
Oh, this goes with that. I dropped it. Keep that with that. Okay. So anyway, I got some oil paints to give a try at so that I can have a little longer time to work with the paint. So you can mix and match these paints together, which allows you to, you know, endlessly work with different colors. So I got those, and then I did end up getting me some medium firm brushes, which is so much nicer to work with. But it has the fan brush, which is what I really, really needed. I needed this fan brush right here. And I really needed that, as well as these little itty bitty detail brushes right here. I needed these ones right here on this side. So these three. I have some of these ones, but I did not have like the one. And I needed something with some better brush quality. The brushes I bought, they're super cheap, and the hairs kept falling out quite badly upon trying to mix the paint. So I ended up getting some paint brushes that were a bit better quality paint brushes. And an easel. So a travel easel. This holds up to a 33-inch canvas. So that was a nice thing. Because I think the biggest canvas I have over here, let me see. What are the sizes of these guys? I think these are an 8. I think these are like an 8 by 10. I think. I don't remember. These are 8 by 10. Okay, these are 8 by 10. These are something by 12 or something by 15. I think it's a 12 by 15. Yeah, these are 12 by 15. So my new easel will hold these big guys. These are the biggest ones I've got right now. I do plan to go a bit bigger. Your brother's. What is my brother's name? Joe. My brother's name is Joey. I call him Joe, Jojo, Joey. But yeah. But now we do have white acrylic paint. The lady at the store had me kind of giggling because she didn't pay attention. I think she thought it was food because it had like a food item picture on it, the apple barrel matte paint. She stuck this in with the juice. So I thought that was kind of funny. So we're going to put this right here.
Baby.
But something else I'll have to do is I need to get like a stand other than this that I can set with the easel, so that I have like for my paintbrushes with my water and stuff, so that I have it to work with. But yeah, that's what we've got going on so far. The little knives in there, the really nice, what do they call it? I'm so stupid at this, the terminology. But anyway, the little painting knives are nice. They worked really good. So I was kind of happy with that. Even though they're plastic, usually you use like the metal ones, which are super high quality. I'm not going to go that far yet until I've gotten better at doing this. But yeah, so my next thing I'm going to do is probably go ahead and watch and do a Bob Ross guided one, so that way I could really just pay attention to what he's talking about, what he's saying, work with like the same types of tools. These ones awesomely have written on them exactly like the size and whatnot, so if he says like a certain size, I'll know which one to grab, and work with that, as well as an easel that stays still. This little guy was just not meant for sitting. Like if I was to sit this down and do something really small, whatnot, that was going to stay centered in the easel, that wasn't going to cause the easel to slide back and forth, whatnot, that would have been fine. But that is just not the type of easel for that kind of work. So that worked out okay for the purposes that it was going for. Hold on. I also got Sarah and I a cookies and cream cake pop. And of course, you can't go to any coffee joint without chocolate covered espresso beans. You have to get the espresso beans. Sorry, I am eating because I have not eaten anything else today. But yeah. So that's the thing. I'm just like for me, this right here had me irritated. I think because I hadn't painted in so dang long, that was part of my frustration, was getting a feel for how you can touch the board or how you can touch the canvas, but also the fact that this kept sliding everywhere while I was trying to paint. So every time I would start touching or putting pressure on the canvas, this would slide or the leg would shut and the whole canvas would shift away from me. So I was getting quite frustrated instead of relaxed while trying to do this. Hi, baby.
Let's lay down again. You're so close. Yeah, you're doing so good. Nice. Let's try for a nap.
There you go. But yeah, so I think my frustration came strictly from the fact that I couldn't get the board to stay still. I don't think I layered enough paint or used enough paint while trying to set it up. I also, like I said, didn't prep it. And that was probably the biggest frustration, was I probably should have prepped my canvas. I just didn't have enough white paint, and I needed whites to mellow out a lot of these super bright colors. So, and the little paints that came with it, I was asking you, Joseph. Oh, well, you said Maurice, so. Oh, you were asking him about Donny Osmond. I thought you were talking to me. But so this right here, I probably should have, one, prepped my canvas. Did not do that. I also didn't finish out my canvas on the sides. I don't plan to. This was, like I said, this was a rough go. This was a very frustrating first try. You can't even really tell that these are trees. You can barely see their little trunks in the background. I wanted those to be more prominent. I was going to bring them more forward so that it kind of looked like you were just walking into a thing, and then it was supposed to be it was supposed to look like a cliff's edge was going to be this section here, but I ended up kind of nixing that idea as I was going because the paint kept drying super fast. It was drying while I was even mixing it on the palette. And so I think, one, the paints that were in that kit are probably old. And so they were drying super fast. It was getting super frustrating, and I was trying to put the paint on here, and it was not. I had to keep setting my palette across the room and then walking back with my paintbrush and holding the canvas still while painting. And so, very frustrating. When you're painting, you don't want to have to hold your canvas. You want to be able to freely move about the canvas without having to put your hands in the way. And I kept having to like hold the canvas like this or putting my hand here, and it was just frustrating as all heck. But also, like I said, really rough go. At a distance, it looks kind of cute. But once you really look at it really up close, you kind of go, yikes. And that's okay. That's okay. It's been 20 plus years, I think like 24 years. Taylor's 24 years old, so it would be roughly 24 years almost, because I remember I used to paint while he was a baby. So roughly 24 years since I have painted a painting, because I haven't painted since he was under a year old. Nice. You're just not gonna go nana. What's up with you?
I know you need to. I can see that you're sleepy. Bunk. Bunk, bunk. Where'd your beak? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Did you spit it out again?
You know, you're really, really, really good at that. What'd you do with it? What did he do with his pacifier?
He chucked it and I don't know where it went. Like he threw it, I heard it hit something, and now I don't know which direction it went in. Carlisle, what did you do? Where'd you put it? Oh, I see it. There it went. I found it.
Grandma found your passy. I found it. You can have that too. There you go. There you go. Let's go, Mimi. Oh gosh. Almost fell over. So yeah. It's got a little PlayStation right here that's like got all his little toys at the end so that when he wakes up he can go right here to grab his little toys to play with. But he's being such a butt because he won't go to sleep. But anywho. Yeah, so this will be cute for like later on. Like I can set this up like on a table or whatever. I think I'm going to put some little rubber guards on the bottom here for it to not slide around. That way when he's a little bit bigger, he can do some little paintings with this. But yeah, super, super frustrating. I was kind of bummed out that it was so hard to work with. Get back over there, thing. That's where that was supposed to be. I don't know how it got so. It's gonna come undone, but that's all right. But yeah, so like I said, super frustrating trying to use this. So probably won't be using this again anytime soon. Definitely something that the baby can use when he's a bit bigger. But like I'm going to definitely put rubber guards on these before using it. That tree is just going to town on the top of my RV. It's just rubbing the heck out of the RV. Alright, so that can go up there for now. But yeah, today's project will be on this board. Like I said, I just got some of these really thin ones. Grabbed a handful of these. They were, like for a handful of them, it was like $3. So I grabbed a handful of these so that I can give these a try and see. I have Bob Ross DVDs. I love painting and I'm watching Bob Ross DVD now. My homemade. Nice. Yeah, so I want to work on these things. I have an idea for the baby's room in the house, and so I want to get really I really want to get much better and proficient at my painting again. Like I said, I haven't done it in so long, and I used to do it all the time, and it's such a relaxing, nice feeling thing. And so I want to do that, but you gotta. When you have a craft and you don't use it, and you start like not practicing it, you start to lose your ability, or you get rusty at it. And so I'm trying to get better at it again and like spend some time with it. Like I can do that now. Yes, I know you are just Mr. I don't want to lay down. I'm gonna bounce around and be crazy. I'm gonna bounce and be crazy because I don't want to go me. Mimi's. I know that's Grandma's here. Mimi's. I know. Oh, and another fun thing now is we're moving him to the cups. So he's got the cups now. He's got quite a few teeth. That's my only one so far. That's my first rough draft one so far. So not, like I said, it needs a lot of work. But thank you, Joseph. Thank you. It does need quite a significant amount of work. Like I said, you can't really tell, with like the details and stuff until you're like really up close. But like, I really could use, like right here, I ended up wiping this with my finger and it just smudged the whole board right there, which ended up leaving me going, ah! And then here, this is like all clumped up because it had gotten dry as I was working with it. So it doesn't, like you can just see, it's really bad texturing. But at a distance, it looks like it's done on purpose. From a distance, it kind of looks cute. It's when you go to look at the detail, you're just like, it's a little bit rough. But yeah, so the baby is moving to these because the doctor said, with how many teeth he's got, the bottle is really, really bad because he's got a lot of teeth.
And so, oh my gosh, he literally let go and took a step in the playpen. He's gonna be walking soon. What are you doing? Carlisle, what are you doing? You're just not gonna go to sleep? Oh, careful. Careful. Yeah. He binked his chin, Mom.
No, is he okay?
Yeah. He said whack and his teeth said clack. You okay now? You alright? You hit your chin. You gotta be careful not to do that. Aww. Ow! Excuse you? He just like ripped a grip of my hair out. Like purposely grabbed a whole handful and just yanked it out of my head. Excuse you? That's not nice. We have gentle hands, sir. Carla. Gentle hands. We don't pull Grandma's hair. It's not nice. Ow. Really hurt too. You yank Grandma's hair out. You can't do that. Okay, here you go.
We're dancing in the middle of the woods.
Gentle hands. Oh, I pulled a whole grip of my hair out. Ow. And this is why I always have my hair up. I am wearing it down today, but as you guys can see, my hair has gotten quite long. I was supposed to go scheduled to get it trimmed. It needs a trim. It is so uneven in the back. I straightened it today, and when it's curled, you can't tell. Because my hair is naturally like really like curly, wavy. Because it's naturally like curly and wavy, can you lose skin color? I don't know. I mean, I've seen people that when they're sick, they get really pale, especially if they're about to throw up. Like, I know for me, and I know like with Sarah, when Sarah's getting ready to vomit, she turns like this really funky puce color, which is like a pale whitish green. So like she gets this like funky, greeny, huey tint to her skin just before she starts vomiting. And she turns like as if though somebody just drained her of all her color, so like really pale colored. But usually not while she's sick, like it's just regular sick, but when she's going to vomit. But I don't know. I mean, neither of my kids have ever lost their like color because they had like a cold or something or an infection. No. But when it comes to throwing up, yeah. I know for me, when I get ready to throw up, I literally turn pale white, like ghostly white. So, yeah, it's not fun. Excuse me, because that was really good. But thank you, Joseph. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be better, but it's a good starter. Because I look at it and I'm like, well, at least now I know that I can get somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I still got a feel for it. There's still things there, some muscle memory, things like that for painting. But I do know that I definitely need to reevaluate like strokes and how to move the paintbrush and which way is better to work with the paint. And my other thing is I think, and I said this to Sarah too about me last night, I was going too light on the paint. I was like afraid that I was going to end up with like glops of paint on the painting, and I didn't want to do that, so I went a little too light, and in doing that made it where it was very hard to work with the paint. I didn't have enough to move around the board. And so when you don't have enough paint on your brush, you don't have enough to work with. And so it dries really quickly. Two, you just run out of material to work with when you're doing it. And so I need to make sure I don't forget to use the paint. You can always buy more, so use the paint that you have. And so that was my biggest problem, I think, last night, was not using my paint. I'm going a little too ginger on the amount I was using. So I'm going to open this one up so I can wash these. So that would be my thing is, if you're gonna be someone who's gonna work with paint, would be my recommendation is go for it. Go into your paint. Don't do a me and be like, oh, I just, I don't know if I'm gonna use too much or whatnot. Just go for it. And if there's a little too much on there, you can always work with removing some of it versus trying to add more on. Like for me, I kept trying to add more onto it, but the stuff was already starting to dry, so then it would start to clump together. He's laying right here. I'm trying to get him to go to sleep. So we're working with trying to get him to take a nap. He does not like to, so it's been a bit of a rough go. That, I knew there was one on here. Come here, you. Okay. I was like, I know there's one on there. There was one on both sides, so. Ow. That one stayed in there just like the other one did. Okay, good. Ta-da. Oops. Excuse you. Come back up. That way we can just throw these away real quick. Oh man. Oh yeah, the other thing we have to go buy, we need to get like a monitor. We don't have one in here because there's no need to. Like we're literally right here. Where are we going? But with the new house, we're gonna need a monitor, so that way he'll have a monitor in his room. So that's something that we're working on. But yeah, this easel is really cool, you guys. It's a metal one. It's not a big wooden one, which is fine because this means this is portable, and it is really cool. So it has this piece that adjusts all the way up and down with each of these little holes, so that at the widest holes means it'll be at its lowest setting, and then this would be at its highest to hold a 33-inch canvas, which is super, super cool. But yeah, I was like, why is the legs not staying open? And it's because you have to put the tray in to keep the legs open. So, I mean, obviously. And it comes in its own little carry bag. It's super lightweight. So yeah, this is really, really nice. Now I can take this and like go outside, set up, and just like paint. I even have like my little black stools that I purchased recently, so I can actually take my easel, take my stool, go outside, sit out in the grass, and like sketch out and paint. We have this beautiful yard out here that would be really cool to paint, with the trees and everything. And there's like this boat that's like laid into the yard. It's really kind of like, sounds weird to say that, but like there's a boat that is a lawn ornament. But it's really cool the way it's done. So yeah, I want to get that all cleaned up. Hey, Sarah. So it's about being consistent and continuing to just lay him down as he works it out. He's getting better and better at it, you guys. So, but yeah, so I grabbed a handful of these. I noticed that the acrylic paints, once they dry, they don't come off. If they do, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to scrape the crap out of it to get it off of there. So that's a thing. But otherwise, guys, I'll get off here. I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a minute, show you guys kind of, I had talked to you guys about me doing this and whatnot. So there you go. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and give it a go with a Bob Ross tutorial and go through and see all the different ones that he has available and pick one that I really, really like, and go for it. He has so many really good ones, and so I want to try my hand at one of them and see if I can get close to that perception of what he's talking about. I know it never comes out exactly like his, which it's not supposed to. Everybody has their own take on when you're given a set of instructions. And so but I do want to give it a go and work with a bunch of this. So even painting applications, goods for mattes, satins, and glitter finishes. We're not doing any glitter. I'm definitely not doing any satin paints. Yeah. See, like this, I love it because this tells you on the back like what your brushes are capable of, and this was the brush I needed because this is what it allows you to do, right? Look at that. Look at how cool that is. And then you've got these, which allows you, you know. So, and then this was the brush I really needed last night because I wanted to do some details, and it allows you to do like these fine details. You see these little fine abilities, like these little dots versus these tiny lines versus like these little swirls. Like those are the things you can do with that tiny little brush, and that's kind of what I needed. So I was a little bit like, I really need that, and I didn't have one. You've got a shader brush, which is really cool. It allows you to kind of get underneath things. But yeah, so I was a little bit bummed that I didn't have what I was looking for. But yeah, the tree thing was my biggest thing. Was I wanted to be able to make trees, and I couldn't with that stupid flat little brush that I had. It's the only brush I had that was going to be able to be even remotely sort of what I was looking for, and so it didn't work out. Not as well as I wanted it to. So, anywho, I'm gonna get off here. I'll talk to you guys later. This little dude's finally asleep for now, and but yeah, thanks guys for hanging out with me. And yeah, like I said, rough start to the painting, but at least I know I have a foundation to work with, and